Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. So nice to be together. At any time, and today we'll have a chance to dive into an interesting topic, vast, but we're going to pick it up from three points, and any one of which could be a weekend-long seminar, but we'll do a little bit today, and then perhaps we'll do a series of these in the future, if there's interest for that. So let's begin with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, Beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar, Beloved Master, Paramhansa Yogananda, Saints of all religions, we humbly bow to all. We invite you in to be with us today. Guide us and bless our thoughts, that we may be in tune with your joy, with your love, with your strength and courage. Bless our friendships and bless our time together. Om. Peace. Amen. Let's just sit for a couple of moments. Bringing ourselves into this present moment and thinking about what it is that brought you here. Om. Peace. Amen. Okay. Well, we're going to share an expansive morning together, and we're going to be doing that on the levels of the mind, the body, and if we get to it, the spirit. But the spirit is, everything's connected. So that's one of the things that we'll discover today, especially through looking at posture and what posture does for mind and spirit. So I'll start by sharing that somehow, ever since I came to Ananda, and I really was not planning on this at all in my life, but there have been these many opportunities to use the body as a spiritual tool. And there has been the teaching of yoga, practicing of yoga postures, and there have been many opportunities to dance, to guide dance and teach dance and choreograph, and also to do what I would call conscious movement. So it seems to be a theme on my journey back home. And so maybe this class is part of that and is sort of growing out of that. Also, I'm getting into my advancing decades, and so, and I have a lot of friends who are too. So this is a wonderful conversation to be having. I know it's already been going on in our community. And today we're going to look at it from a couple of interesting perspectives that might contain some things that are new for us and some familiar things that we might take to another level. So as we're aging, perhaps this is some of why you all came. As we're aging, we do notice there's a reality of changes happening in the body mainly, maybe in the mind too. And we are navigating those changes. Really, actually, if we're sitting in this room, we're navigating those changes in a very good way, in a very spiritual and uplifted way, expansive way, and a God-centered way. So that's the very best we can be doing. And sometimes, even so, we have challenges that are maybe above the current tools that we have. Or maybe we just want to expand the tools that we have so that they are better able to serve us. So let's do that today. So as we're aging, maybe you're all asking a question. Hello, friends. A question that I think many of us are asking, which is, how do I, in these advancing decades, we'll say, how do we stay vibrant and expansive, right? And not sort of fall into, which none of us are going to, but we'll just state the other end of the spectrum, which is, becoming the spiritual antique. And so, which I think Master said, or Swami said, or both. But we're really trying to not have that be any part of our reality, and we're really trying to move in a different direction. Master and Swami, had just showed us how to do it, and that's why the Masters come, because we have to see how they live so that we can have that example for our own selves. And first of all, in terms of, we'll start by speaking about the mind aspect of our life and our living, that Master and Swami had incredibly positive outlooks on life. No matter what they were facing, they were doing it in an uplifted and positive way, and it's incredible what they went through with that kind of consciousness. So, and I mean, of course, we can take it to, a really far extent, which was the life of Jesus and how he went through all the struggles that he faced and, still was loving, still was teaching, still was there to give. So we can be that too, and that's why they came, to show us that. So on the topic of positivity, I'm going to ask you all to rate your level of happiness and joy at this moment. Just think within, just sort of get centered in your quiet self and ask that question and come up with a 1 to 10 rating. Everybody have it? Okay. So, in one of Swami's songs, he has this beautiful line, and it goes perfectly for our theme today. And he says, "The secret of laughter lies in the laughing. The secret of laughter lies in the laughing, not in the search for joy." Yeah, we sing it, we hear it a lot, but it's an interesting and powerful statement that, what does that mean to anyone here? Does anything come up?
We can't keep expecting the things in our environment to make us happy. We have to make a decision to be happy.
Yeah, beautiful.
I think it's about realizing that things on the outside of us are not what's making us happy. It's actually coming from within when you laugh. When I laugh, I'm like really involving my whole self.
Yeah. Fully present, fully involved. Yeah.
Searching for joy because you don't have it now.
Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. 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 So it's really about our choosing, as you're saying, and our journey, and doing what we can so that our journey is joyful, no matter, and not waiting for joy to come or a joyful circumstance to come, but to bring that into life, bring that into meditation even, as Swami has taught us. So, Swami says, train your mind to concentrate on the positive, and you will become a magnet of divine blessings. Okay, Sai Ganesh, do we happen to have that video of Swami? So we get to just experience a little example of this consciousness. Love it. So sweet. So, we each have a couple of pencils, and let's pick those up now. I'll get some more for you. You can each take two. Okay, so one of the ways that is so easy for us to cultivate happiness and joy is based on an experiment, actually, that a French neurologist did in the 19th century. And he looked at something that Master later talked about, which was that smiling does amazing things to our mind and nervous system, and that it puts us into an immediate state of relaxation. It releases all these positive chemicals in the brain, serotonin and dopamine, and it pushes down the sort of the stress and problem aspects of our mind. And what's amazing about this is that you can actually fake it, and it works. It still works. And that's what this man found, was that you can just, you can just put something in your mouth, and what happens is the facial muscles feed back to the brain that you're happy, and then you become happy. It's so amazing. It's about it's these muscles go up, these muscles squish, and the cheeks go up, and that tells the brain that you are happy. Isn't that fantastic? So we're going to do that now. And Master said, be a smile millionaire. If we really smiled 1,000,000 times, or more, we would have a different life. We're all doing pretty well. But we can increase it, and anytime we feel down or stressed, we can take 2 pencils. So use the eraser end, please. And you can either, as Master said, you can either push up the sides of your mouth, or you can put a pencil in your mouth. So let's do that. We're going to do that for 1.5 minutes, okay? Are we ready? Let's go. "30 seconds. You feel it? One minute. Okay, we can let it go.
Well, it's like a yoga pose.
Yeah, isn't it? We should do that. Do that in class. Okay, now go within in your still self and rate your level of positivity or happiness or joy. Did you feel any difference between the first and the second? Yeah. Between this little thing and watching Swami, you know, because they also say the studies show that if we are in stress, if we watch something that makes us laugh, it immediately dissolves the cortisol response that our body is experiencing. So it's such a gift and it's so easy. And you know, I got to laughing at something that Sagar wrote. I was just looking online for something funny, and none of the funny animal videos did it, but Sagar's letter was just perfect. And I laughed out loud and immediately felt, you know, that release. So an easy thing that we can do that Master said, you know, let's do it. So let's just look at our first chart. So this is Swami's, again, his quote, train your mind to concentrate on the positive, and you will become a magnet of divine blessings. So that means we draw to ourselves the blessings and we also radiate them out when we are in a positive state. And so I started to write down some aspects of positivity that we do mostly work with. You know, now we know how to be a smile millionaire. And, you know, honestly, it's any time, like just, I don't know, out for a walk for no reason. Just, it changes our mind, it changes our outlook on life. Our breathing techniques, Swami just talked a lot about the benefits of pranayama and how simple it is. Measured breathing, you know, 4 in, holding 4, 4 out breaths, yeah? It's incredibly relaxing, and whenever I need to do something, any kind of a performance type of thing, I do measured breathing, and it changes my whole perspective from one of like the slight fear that's there to just one of giving. So measured breathing is really powerful practice. Affirmations change our mind from the inside out. We have so many things of Swami's, of, you know, our music, like The Secret of Laughter lies in the laughing. You know, to even go out and take a walk with that going through our mind and nothing else, you just come back a different person from your walk. So affirmations are powerful. Journaling, and just this is something we could make a whole class out of it, but journaling our daily gifts. It's like a gratitude journal. It could be the same thing, except this is just that sense of, God, you know, what gifts did I receive from you today? I know there have been many. Let me just tune in and be aware of what they were. Giving and serving, probably one of the best ways to increase our sense of well-being and happiness, especially when we're having a challenging day, you know, to just get out, and I know Chidambar does this all the time, and get out and give, you know, to somebody or something not expecting. Being childlike, well, we just did that, and we're going to do a little bit more of it here in a minute. But any chance that we have to just, you know, just I don't know, pick a flower, or maybe leave the flower. Don't pick it, but appreciate it, say hello to it. Throw a ball with a friend. Yesterday we had a 4th of July with, balloon toss, and we were just completely like kids, and it really was fun. So, do other people have any other thoughts about how you cultivate positivity?
Well, first thing in the morning, after I look at myself in the mirror, I smile. And I immediately feel better, and that makes me kind of laugh as I walk out into the living room.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
First thing in the morning is a good idea.
Yeah. Prime the day.
I like to have a book by my nightstand and then open the book, and whatever is there, just read it, because it's usually something positive. I feel like Master or Divine Mother is sending me a message.
Nice.
I like a message.
Oh, you do that first thing in the morning?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Okay. Anybody else?
You can go, actually, I didn't think about the question. When the news just gets a little too heavy, my wife and I have learned to just giggle.
Hmm?
And it seems to dissipate the worries about whatever the news is. We just giggle.
How do you start it?
One of us does, and the other one can't resist.
Oh. Okay, so let's say, and let's say giggle with a friend. Yeah, because that helps. The mirroring neurons that we have actually pick up on positivity from others. Anything else, Michael?
To be solution-oriented.
Hmm.
Knowing that for every problem lies a solution.
Yeah, this is a really important point because ideally it involves we're already in a solution-oriented mindset, and then when a problem comes, we're not so blown back by it. And that's really how Master and Swami went through life, and yeah.
If I'm facing something, give it 10 minutes, give it 30 minutes, go for a walk, come back. With the process of anicca or impermanence, all our mind will just shift naturally. We keep it positive.
Yeah.
Solution-oriented.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move into our next activity, and we're going to be doing this here. It's a movement thing, so why don't we push our chairs back? Okay, so let's see. We want to be in a circle if we can, and it doesn't have to be a big circle. We're not going far. Okay. Well, Michael, what should we do?
What does he want?
You ran away.
Okay, well, let's continue. So,
Running away too, so anyway.
what's that?
I feel like running away too.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is a movement dance activity, and one of the things that I've been finding through sharing dance through Ananda is that moving the body just has this powerful uplifting effect. Moving the body in a spiritual way and or devotional way, and that it's also a childlike thing that we do, that we sort of, as we become adults, we say, I don't really do that anymore, especially if you grow up as a boy, and it's just not easy to have permission from your peers and your family even to do that. So anyway, we get to do that. Let's start by just like spreading our arms, opening the chest, reaching out, and enjoying the expansiveness that we create just by doing this. Feel the heart open, receptive, and giving. Palms can be facing up. And somehow, naturally, our eyes just drift up, too, toward the point between the eyebrows. Okay, let's put the hands down. So we're going to learn there's only 4 steps. There's only really 1 step, but we just do it 4 times. So we're going to go to our right. So you guys will be coming this way, we'll be going this way. So we take a right together, a right together, a left together, a left together. That's it.
I think I can do that.
Okay, we can do it. Okay, so, and we're going to start out by, when we go to the right, we're going to offer the right arm out. When we go to the left, we offer the left arm out. Okay, so let's do that again. To the right. To the left. Now put your right hand on the heart. And we're going to reach out. We're going to smile at the person across from us. And then we're going to lift our arms up. And this all goes to the lyrics, okay? We're going to do it 2 times through, then something little special happens that you'll all understand right away, and then we'll do it 1 more time, and then we're done. Okay? So this is to All the World is My Friend. So it's going to go, all the world is my friend when I learn how to share my love, when I stretch out my hand and smile, when I live from above. Okay, that's it. Fun, huh? Can we turn it up, Saginash? Oh, great. Thank you.
When I learn how to share my love, when I stretch out my hand and smile, when I live from above, all the world is my
Friend, when I learn how to share my love, when I stretch out my hand and smile, when I live from above. All the world is my friend when I learn how to share my love, when I stretch out my hand and smile, when I live from above. What's that?
I said we're dancers.
We're dancers. Yeah, it's official. Okay, good. We can bring our chairs back. Okay, we have a couple of handouts that you can pick up, and one is this one here with the quotes on it. We're going to actually turn it to the back where it says William the Conqueror. Okay, so So we're looking at William the Conqueror. This is a snippet of a very important moment in his life. And as we know, Yogananda was William the Conqueror in a past life, we believe. And Biraj, would you like to read this?
Sure. As the story goes, Duke William was the first warrior to set foot on land when he was invading England. Though his foot slipped out from under him and he fell forward on both hands, horrors. A loud cry went up around him, for his men saw this accident as a terrible omen. But William kept his wits about him. Grabbing 2 fistfuls of sand, he cried out, "By the splendor of God, I have taken possession of my kingdom. The earth of England is in my 2 hands," thus transforming bad luck into good fortune and saving the day.
Yeah. Amazing. Sort of like what you were saying, Michael, about, this was a moment that had to be this way for history to unfold the way it needed to. But just being in that state of expanded consciousness already, when a problem happens, we know, how to navigate it in a superconscious way. So, okay, let's take a look at our other handout about with this side. It's really just something in the end that you can take home and look at. But I wanted to point out a couple of really interesting stories. We certainly have so many stories within Ananda of people doing really their own life-changing work and also serving others in a life-changing way in their later years. I was just reading that David Attenborough, who is now 99 this year, just put out another film. And he has been so prolific in his 90s, more than ever in his life, and he's doing things for the world that matter to him. It really comes from his heart and soul. And he's changing, human understanding of our relationship with nature. I love this one also about Anna Pesky, or Pesci. She, as you can see, she was in a deforming kind of state, and she was actually at the age of 85 able to transform her body working with a yoga instructor actually who specialized in back care, and she was able to overcome this. I think most people feel that they can't, and probably most people get the message from their doctors that they can't, but she had the indomitable spirit that allowed her to transform her life. And reading this article about her, she says when she came to be standing up straight, it changed her whole inner sense of herself, of her life. She just felt this uplifted, positive energy about life. And so our posture really does affect how we go through life and how we meet each moment. So we're going to be doing posture in just a minute, some looking at that. But I think this is just so inspiring. And then it's the simple things sometimes. Marie Thompson at the bottom. Chidambar, would you like to read that one about her?
Marie Thompson?
Yeah.
Seeing her Detroit neighborhood decline due to economic hardship, Marie, age 70, transformed several abandoned lots into vibrant urban gardens, providing fresh produce for local residents building a new sense of community and connection.
So amazing, isn't it? It's so simple sometimes, and just looking around us and seeing what's needed. What would make a difference here? And so very inspiring. We can read more about these folks later.
Asha's 78.
Asha's,
76.
oh, she's 78. Yes, okay. Wow. Yeah, over 500,000 followers on social media. That's pretty amazing. Okay, so let's shift then, taking the inspiration from Anna into a conversation about posture. And because posture and positivity go together, they just are hand in hand. And even though, we know that, and we know from Swami's example, that the body does not dictate anything, does not have to dictate anything that we are or that we do in life. He did everything, regardless of what his body was going through, in great part because of the grace of Master and his attunement, and the grace of God. So, and still we know that we have this bodily reality that is at times giving us new challenges, or maybe some annoying existing challenges, and so looking at posture is a really fundamental aspect of our aging and how to age in a dynamic and uplifted way. Okay, so let's see. We know from Master, he said the spine is the altar of God. So that puts everything in perspective about the importance of the spine. And according to Swami, Master he said he never saw Master sit with a bent spine, or probably stand with a bent spine at all. So he was it just always was about the upward flow. And in order to cultivate that in our life, we need to have a straight spine. So, okay, unless by the grace of God we have a bent spine and we get it anyway. So, the grace of God is in the end everything. Okay, so let's look at this. So Swami reminds us too, the spine is, can you see, Michael? The spine is the highway to the infinite. So the benefits of good posture are so many, many, many more than are listed here, but these are some of, the main ones. When we have a straight spine, which means that our spine is not straight, it has its natural curves, but the alignment is healthy. And so when that happens, we have a naturally upward flowing energy. We have greater mobility because our nerves are not pinched, nothing is contracted. We have the full freedom of movement and a nerve connection to all the parts of our body. The breath is flowing because the diaphragm is open. When we're forward like this, we're crunching the diaphragm and we can't breathe fully and properly. That full breath actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest way of living as opposed to fight or flight. Yeah? So the spinal cord is protected by the spine itself, and so that's important to our nervous system. Mental clarity and focus, prana, energy moves to the brain, pain is reduced. All of these things are improved. So let's see, what are we doing? Exercise is also something that is important for posture, and because we want to have strength and mobility and flexibility and balance, in order to keep our spine erect. So when we look at the benefits of exercise, we see there are also many. One of the main things that happens when we exercise is endorphins are released, and these are chemicals in the body that actually dissolve our stress response. They also bring serotonin and dopamine. Thank you. Into our chemical body, into our body chemically, and that helps with both our mood, our sense of our inner state, and with pain reduction. So, muscle strength and mass, this is probably one of the main things. This is the thing that later in life we need in order to maintain our utmost independence. So to not have to be, helped by an institutional kind of situation. So we're going to look at also how to work on this. Bone mass, we can build bone mass, we now know that. So stimulates taking out the trash. I love that. So exercise is just a great detoxifier and lets things stay clean within. Okay, so I think we're going to look at some practices with posture. So why don't we stand up?
Shoes on, off?
Shoes off is probably easier. Okay, so one of the main things we want to do as we're aging is strengthen our lower body. So there are two things we're going to look at, strengthening the lower body and opening the upper body, because both of them are sort of anti-gravity practices that are easy to do every day and that will really help us in the long run to be more agile and more mobile in our later years. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at 3 versions of Utkatasana, the chair pose. And so the first version of the chair pose is we bring our hands forward, we come up onto our toes a little if you can, and then we bend the knees and we have a long spine. So I'm not arching and I'm not rounding. Okay, I have a nice long spine because my tailbone and the crown of my head are moving away from each other. Okay, and we're feeling this in our legs, are we not? Okay, you can relax the shoulders. Make sure your heart is still open, that you're not sort of rounded. Pull the shoulders back. And we can just stay here for as long as we feel like hanging out, but I'm not going to make you stay very long. Now let's come up. The other way that we can practice this that's very, very practical every day, and you can join me, is we can come into our seat. I'm going to turn this at a profile so you can see. One of the things we want to do is learn to tilt the pelvis forward a little bit. Most people do not have a sway back. If you do, you would want to tuck the tailbone, but by bringing the hip crest forward and the tailbone back, do you feel that? Can you sort of feel how you can move the pelvis, tilt it forward and tilt it back? When we sit, we want to tilt the pelvis forward so the tailbone is sticking out and sit this way. Do you see how it keeps the back straighter than if we do this? So let's come up again. And then do this sitting again. You may need to just sort of be aware of your abdominals and your pelvic bones as you sit with control. Nice. And let's come up the same way. Nice. And if you press into your heels, you'll notice that you have more strength and a longer spine. Then if you press into your toes, you'll sort of tend to round. Yeah? Great. Everyone's doing it without any hands too, so that means you have a lot of strength in your legs. And either way, even if you don't, it'll build up. It builds up quickly. At any time in life, no matter if we're 9 or 99 or 109, we can build. We can build our muscles and our bones. And that's part of the inspiration for this class. This you can do anytime, right?
I can't believe how hard it is, actually.
Yeah,
Really, when it looks so simple.
yeah. It looks simple. But if you practice it for a little while, a couple of days, you'll feel it. Yeah, yeah. And this is so important because these muscles get us up off the floor. Yeah, if we're on the floor and we didn't want to be, or if we did want to be, but and they help to keep us from falling. They help to keep us balanced, and they help to keep our spine straight. So this little exercise is really, really gold. The other way we can practice this, I'm just going to show you, is we can do it against a wall. So you can lean against the wall and just sit in chair pose, yeah? And just strengthen these legs. You could do this while you're talking on the phone, So that's also, everybody has a wall, and yeah.
Sitting against the wall was actually an exercise my physical therapist gave me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for strengthening quad areas.
Oh, yeah, great. His physical therapist gave him that exercise to strengthen his legs.
Yeah, knees.
Oh, strengthen the knees, yeah.
Muscles around them.
Oh, that's really good. Anything that helps the joints is great for us, right? Okay, and then the other thing we want to do is keep our upper body open, because one of the things that happens, of course, is that all of our activities seem to be something that make us go like this, right? And what happens over time is that we actually have small fractures in the front of the spine. And that's why we tend to keep going in that direction. Not us, but some people do. So what we want to do is build strength here by keeping the shoulders down and back and keeping the heart open. And heart open, what a great way to go through life. I mean, I remember Swami's, practice with himself where he just walked around like this all the time. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's good for us. See, it makes us happy. It makes us smile. We feel that openness to life, open-hearted, receptive and giving. Yeah? And it's also great for our spine. So one of the ways that we can help with this is to do some front stretching. And we have a few corners. You can find a corner in the temple. And what we're going to do is, let's see, I have to turn my back to you, but I'll just demonstrate over here. So we take a wall and we put our arms at about 90 degrees, and then we lean in. Okay? And this is going to open up this whole area here, and which is part of the issue of the contraction, is our muscles are pulling this way. So if we stretch them, we counteract that gravity. Okay, so find a corner. You could also find a doorway. A doorway works too. So as you're doing this stretch, just let yourself come into the stretch and hold it, as opposed to doing like a push-up type scenario. Just let the chest open. You can breathe deeply into the diaphragm. Nice. And when you're ready, you can come back, or you can stay as long as you like. It's up to you. It'll be a little different for everybody. I would say a minute. But tune into your body, because depending on where you are with it, it may be 15 seconds is a good starting place, and really gentle. Yeah.
I can feel it in the back of my legs as well as you pull, like a stretch.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. From this opening, you could feel.
Leaning this way, lean it that way.
Oh, yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And is it just standard, or do you move in?
You move into the point that you feel that, yeah, start to go beyond its normal. Yeah. Oh, good. And a doorway, you can step through a doorway too, which you were doing, Vicki. And you can even sort of go farther. So if you get really, really flexible with it, maybe then you're sort of like hypermobile, but which we don't want to do either. Okay, let's come back. And another tool that we can use is a rolled up hand towel. I have this by my bed. And in the morning and in the evening, you can put this under your spine right in this position, which is this natural curve of the spine at the thoracic area. You can put this under you, lying on it in your bed, and you can start out with just 15 seconds. And then you can build up in the morning and the evening. That'll help to open this too. And then when you get, if you want to take it further, you can put it on the floor, and that's a little more intense. Even with a little soft towel, you can feel it. Also, I love to lie on a bolster, have the bolster just long ways, going all the way up to the head and down. I sit on the floor, and then the bolster is right about here, and I lay back on it, and you can just let the arms go to the side. It's so relaxing, especially at the end of the day.
How do you do it with that? I'm sorry.
Okay, so for this, you just put it under this natural curve in your back, right? The thoracic. And then you just lie down on it. It feels great. I mean, it's just so nice to have that opening when, most of our life is drawing us this way. One of the things that we're learning about bone strength and now knowing that we can actually build bone density, which, we haven't known that very long. I remember getting a DEXA scan, and they basically said, well, you just, if it goes too far, you just need to take drugs. And that's not I don't want to do that. So, and that was just a few years ago. So now we know that we can actually build bone density at any time in our life, which is great news. What they're realizing is that bones actually respond to stress in a good way. So our energization exercises are a treasure, because we're putting tension on the muscles, which puts tension on the bones, which keeps those bones really, really healthy and building bone mass. So we want tension on our bones, which is why a sedentary life is about the worst thing we can do. We want to stay active, and all of us do that. So that keeps us in good health, in good posture, and in an uplifted state. So it's sometimes such a small thing. So one of the things that we've learned about building bone mass is that there is this approach called dynamic tension. And what it means is that the same bone muscle area is moving in two different directions. When we practice dynamic tension, we are actively building bone mass. We have to hold it for, I think, 10 to 12 seconds at least. And if we hold it, I think if you get up to 720 seconds, it's like diminishing returns, but that's a long time. So So any amount of time that we hold dynamic tension from 10 seconds on, we're actually building bone mass. So we're going to practice 2 ways of doing that today. One is we're going to do this through our middle upper back, which is that place that we want to encourage, our strength to be, so that we can hold this upright posture. So we're going to start by lengthening our arms out to the sides. Yep, give yourselves room. We do this in our yoga postures class, so some of you are experienced. Why don't we turn our palms up just because? And so we're reaching our fingers out to the side walls. Can you actively feel? You're stretching. Okay, now draw your shoulder blades in toward each other. It's a small movement, but just draw them in. Now, reach again through the fingertips. Can you feel those 2 directions happening at the same time? Okay, so let's just let this last for how about 10 more seconds? Okay, releasing down. We just built bone mass across our upper middle back. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Okay, another way to do it, and this will be also an important exercise, is we can move the crown of the head away from the tailbone. So we can do these 2 things at the same time. Okay, so it's a little subtle because we're going to press into the seat with the tailbone. We're just going to actively feel that we're doing that. And then we're going to lengthen through the crown of the head, drawing the head up toward the ceiling as we're pressing into the seat. So have a nice long spine, be nice and open through the chest. Nice. Relax the shoulders. Breathe through the diaphragm. Keep lengthening. And relax. Okay. So we just built bone mass in our spine, which is great. We can do this now. Knowing this, you can do this anytime. And it's really just such a wonderful, easy tool. Yeah, so now we have several things that we can just do at home that we know are great for our body in all these infinite ways, and great for our mind and great for our spirit because it's all connected. Okay, let's practice some healthy ways of sitting and standing, of getting into a car, and of getting into and out of bed. Okay? All right. So, sitting and standing.
You know us pretty well.
I've heard. Okay, so, we did practice the exercise, right? In terms of getting up and out of the chair. So we know what to do with the position of our spine. Now, what we can do the next time we want to get out of or into a chair, scoot to the edge. And then you can use your hands or you don't need to. It's up to you. Take 1 foot back. And then using that long spine with the tailbone sticking out and the chest open, bring yourself up. Now that's a little easier than having the 2 feet together, right? It just somehow, it's better for the anatomy, it's more supportive. Okay, so let's sit down the same way. Yeah, nice. Yeah, very good, because everybody did that with a long spine. So that's just the key, up, yeah, and down. And it's okay to hold on to the chair. The main thing is keep your upper body open. Okay, getting into a car. All right. I usually do it right, but sometimes I just don't,
I thought I had to buy a different kind of car. This is going to be a lot cheaper.
yeah, see, you don't even have to have anything. Okay, so if this is the door of, the door to my driver's seat. Now, normally what we do is like we step in like this, and then we go like this, right? Okay, not gonna do that. So what we wanna do is turn our backs to the seat, sit down with a long spine, draw our legs in. Okay, because in that, there's no twisting, there's no bending, we don't have to lean over, yeah? And the same thing getting out. Now, usually getting out, it's hard to get out of a car because you have to clear the frame, so I need to usually push. But that's okay, because you can do that with a long spine, yeah? I don't have to go like this, right? I can stay up, push into my heels, and lift myself up. Okay, so let's practice that. And today when we leave here, we'll have the perfect opportunity to do it in real life. Okay, so we're facing the front door of our car. Yeah? Just face whatever your front door is going to be. Okay, turn your back to the seat. Know that you're close enough to the seat, okay, that it's going to catch you. Now with a long spine, sit down. Now draw your legs in. Nice. Great. Yeah, Chandra.
I think it's not a good idea to hang on to the steering wheel. That occurred to me about a couple months ago because it seems like if you're always pulling on the steering wheel, it's going to fall off after a while.
Oh.
Well, I don't think the steering wheel is built to hold our weight.
Okay.
That's my theory. I don't know. Maybe it is. Anyway,
Okay.
just so I throw that out.
Well, and it may be a little awkward, like it may sort of put you in an awkward position to hold it.
To hold onto the steering wheel?
Yeah.
Well, when I'm getting in, see, I used to grab onto the steering wheel to adjust myself.
I see.
But now I push on the sides. I don't know if anybody else uses their steering wheel.
What I like is when you're getting in the back seat of a four-door car, and they have those little hand things to help you get up. Because
Yeah.
it's higher than, I'm talking about a truck or an SUV or something like that.
Yeah.
Harder to get in and out of.
Exactly. We can use and we should use those supports and those props that we have around us. Okay, so let's do that one more time. So let's get out of the car. And it's okay to use the hands. Do use the hands, because if we need to use them and we're not using them, we are probably stressing some other part of our body, like our knees or our hips or ankles or something else. So do what you need to do for your body. Okay, so let's face the front door. Hello, car. Okay, let's turn our backs to the seat. Make sure that we're going to sit down and be on the seat. And then sit. Long spine. Bring the legs in. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. So just keep your spine long the whole time. Once we're sitting in the car, we sort of have to have this leaning back position. My seats have a lumbar support, maybe yours do too, or you can get a lumbar pillow or something to just help you stay a little more upright. Okay, bed. All right, what we're going to do is put 4 chairs together here, maybe 3. Probably 4. Okay. So when we're getting into and out of bed, this is kind of a precarious thing because often we're like twisting and bending at the same time, and those 2 movements together are not what we want to do with our body. It's okay to twist, it's okay to bend, but not both at the same time. I mean, all things being equal. Okay, so what we're going to do is same thing. We're going to sit down on the edge of the bed, yeah, in our way that we know how to. Then we're going to lean to the side and bring our legs in. So you're going to lean with a straight spine, lift the legs up, and then turn the whole body together and lie down. You can try this at home tonight. It's a little awkward with the chairs. It doesn't work so well. But that's the idea is the way that we don't want to do it is we throw our legs out of the bed. Look at my spine. I'm already ready to injure myself right here. And then whatever happens next is not going to be good. So, right? Okay, so from here, I would bend my knees. I would roll onto my side. I would drop the legs down and push myself up. So that whole time, everything's in alignment. They say that you want your nose, your knees, and your toes to all be facing the same direction. So that's basically what happens, yeah? Here, here, here. Bend, turn, drop the legs, push up. It's much easier in a bed than on these things, but anyway, you get the idea. Yeah,
So
that's.
I would do from Shavasana or if we're thinking
Yeah.
yoga, right?
Yeah, coming out of Shavasana, rolling to one side, rest for a minute, then press yourself up. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see. Another thing that, let's see. Sai Ganesh, could you bring me a couple of blankets? One of the things that I know I have overlooked, I learned something at this class I took up at the village, which was about chair yoga and also yoga for seniors. It was a great class, and a lot of this information was there. Thank you. We were sitting for 4 days in this seminar, and one of the teachers said, "Let's demonstrate, what would be a really good sitting position for you." And I felt fine. I thought, well, I don't know, I feel good. I'm sitting. I don't know, my spine feels good, and I feel like I'm in a healthy position. When she set it up for me, it was like heaven. It was so great. I didn't realize that actually support would be helpful. So most of us are going to need a little something under our tailbone, under our hips, or what we should call sitting bones, because we want to have our pelvis slightly tilting forward. And it's very hard to sit like that for an extended period without some kind of support. Now this feels so much better than how I was just sitting. So you can try this at home, but adjust yourself so that you feel your pelvis just slightly tilt forward, and that'll support the rest of your back to be nice and long and, giving us all of these benefits that we want.
So say, like the furniture you're sitting in makes such a difference. Like these chairs, as I understand it, had the front of the legs cut off so that they automatically provide some of that. So
Wow,
yeah,
I didn't know
it's a
that.
very upright, chairs. So yeah, been having a pillow or something behind your backs.
Yeah.
I was thinking, even sitting at the computer, in the chair, make it so your pelvis is kind of tilting forward, huh? I gotta fix that.
That would be the exact place we would use it at home. It's in that chair we sit at to do our desk work or our whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because when we're reading, we're some other way, right?
Yeah.
Or eating breakfast or something.
Yeah, wherever we are. Especially if we're there for an extended time, like during Sunday service, we might want to all have a blanket just to help with that. I'm going to do a little something for you. So let's have you sit on a blanket. But before you do that, I'm going to bring you another blanket. Put it under your feet. Because this chair is just slightly tall for you, right? Okay, now see. How does that feel? Better.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes you can even stack two blankets, like one here and one on top of it, and give yourself even more of an angle. It just depends on your body. But yeah, it's a nice position for you.
It's a nice difference.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it feels better. You just don't think you need anything.
Yeah. I know, we're just used to we adapt and make do, so, but it's nice to know we have props that can help. Okay. Oh, you go ahead, stay like that. No, that's perfect. We should have done it in the very beginning. Okay. Okay, so let's see, maybe we'd like to take a 5-minute break. And would people like to use the restroom or have a little water or something? Okay, let's do that. Just a short one. Okay. Okay, so does anyone have any questions or any thoughts to share or comments about your experience with the different kinds of mobility and strength?
Quickie question.
Yeah.
What's O/A? Energy line.
Overall.
Overall.
Overall energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael.
You were talking about strengthening the bone mass and density. Something that I take is calcium, magnesium,
Uh-huh.
which is supposed to be helpful for that as well.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes there are supplements that, can help build bone as well. Yeah, because bone it's both the minerals and it's also collagen. So it's interesting to look at bones like that have just been taken out of a live body. Not to be too gross, but they're not white. They're red, not just because of what's around it, because they are these flexible, living things. They're not just our structure, they're alive. So that's why we can build them. We can continue to build them. They're not, we sort of think of them as like this inert thing.
So stiff and
Stiff, yeah, they're not, yeah, so.
I appreciate also the stretches you taught us because I also had a DEXA and I have a low density on my back.
Oh,
So I've been trying to find a way to strengthen and build bone,
oh, excellent.
definitely.
I'm so glad.
The medication. I'm trying other ways before I go there.
And while you're bringing that up, on the back side of this handout, there is this photo and information. I really, really highly recommend it. I have to say, I have not begun to practice it myself. I just discovered it. But I think that what this person is doing here, and they talked about it actually in the course at the Village, is very, very, very good. It's really sound. I do note on here, it says he recommends so many repetitions just don't get caught up by that. If you like what he's saying and you feel like it will help you, I think it will. It does help strengthen us in these really, really supportive ways. It's very unique, what he's saying to do. So, and not hard, not at all hard, but something like the dynamic tension that we could just work into our daily life and help.
Yes,
If
thank
we,
you.
if we
Yeah.
just did what you gave us to summarize was, I'm trying to remember them in my mind. So
Yeah.
we have like the one at the wall or the sitting,
Mm-hmm.
chair pose,
Mm-hmm.
chair pose.
Yeah.
The thing in the corner,
I would say sitting with pulling your shoulder blades back and your arms out.
oh, and the one holding our arms back,
The dynamic tension,
dynamic tension.
both directions. Yep.
Okay. And the thing, the rolled thing on your back.
And the dynamic tension both ways. You can sort of think of it like a cross. Dynamic tension this way, so shoulder blades in, fingertips out, and dynamic tension this way, yeah? Head up and tailbone down. Yeah. And make sure you're in a good posture when you do it, which I know we all will. But yeah, that's it. That's it.
Do you do those two separately or together?
Sometimes you can do them together. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good experiment. You can try it and let me know. Yeah.
And getting in and out of the car and up and down the chair and in the bed.
Mm-hmm. And we could have another whole class about just, as we were saying, mobility, strength and mobility, getting up off the floor. There's some ways, different ways to do this that would be helpful to all of us to know.
Can
So,
you demonstrate how to get up off the floor? Or do we not enough?
okay.
Not enough time.
Here's the basic. I'll do two ways. Okay, on the floor. The first thing we want to try to do, assuming that our knees are fine, is we want to roll to the side, push ourselves up just like we did in the bed, and get onto our hands and knees. So this is our strongest position, because from here we can crawl to anything we need, right? To then be able to push ourselves up and get in the chair. So crawling is our friend, and that's going to be we want to have the strength and the agility to be able to crawl. Sometimes for the knees, it's an issue. So in that case, okay, we're on the floor. Roll over to the side, sit, and scoot to where you need to be. Particularly if you can get to a stair like this, and then push yourself up. Yeah? And then push yourself up again, and then you've got your feet underneath you enough that you can probably stand up. At least you're not on the floor. If you had to sit here for 24 hours, not as bad as being, out. So you can also, if you can scoot, which most of us can probably scoot, unless you have a serious shoulder issue, but if you can scoot and grab like pillows, then you could scoot near a chair, have your pillows, stack them up so that you create a stair, and then you can get yourself into the chair. So it's going to take some creativity, and you never know where you're going to be. If you're in a park on a wide open field, that's a little tough. But probably there's someone around who would help you. Okay, so those are the two ideas. Okay, so the final segment of our morning together is that we're going to talk about, we've talked about positivity, we've talked about an uplifted spine and how those two go together. And the next aspect of that is more of a spiritual aspect, but it's also a very practical and daily aspect, which is saying yes to life. And, saying yes to life, I've often thought of this as a positivity response to life, which it is, but it's really a courage response to life, because a lot of times life brings us something that we don't want to do and we don't want to face. And what Swami and Masters say about that is that exact thing is our best teacher in the moment. So you can create, we could create a whole spiritual path out of saying yes to life based on that and seeing everything that comes to us as an opportunity for our highest growth. I'd like to share with you, so we've had some childlike time, now we get some story time. It's just a couple of pages, so I'm going to read it to you. It's from this book called The Surrender Experiment. Has anyone read this? Yeah? Yes. This is by Michael Singer, who is a disciple of Master. He also wrote The Untethered Soul. And this book is, this is about an experiment that he did with himself for over 40 years. And he was a totally serious yogi. He ended up wanting nothing to do with life, nothing to do with any outward use of his energy. He wanted to just meditate all the time and not be disturbed. And that was for him, his surefire way to freedom, to enlightenment. So every time that something would come in and sort of like, bzzz, he would resist it and he would be mad because he said, I'm here to meditate and I'm here to realize God, and you're just getting in my way, whatever little irritating thing this was that came in. Well, he understood after a time that things that came into his life actually turned out to take him in a positive direction spiritually. And so this whole book is about that journey. And this chapter, it's just 2 pages. But it illustrates something that is a beautiful example of saying yes to life and what happens on the other side of that. This is called The Most Important Thing I Was Ever Asked to Do. The summer of 1973 ushered in some very interesting changes where I lived. Through no effort of my own, many of the 5-acre lots around my property were being purchased by folks drawn to a back-to-nature lifestyle. Unsurprisingly, many of these people were into some form of meditation and yoga. I was still holding on to my self-concept of a meditator wanting solitude in the woods, so I had little interaction with my neighbors. I must admit, however, that my afternoon walks became more interesting as various rough-sawn cabins began to spring up in the woods around me. A man named Bob Tilchin purchased the property directly behind my house. I had not known him before, but he was into yoga and Sufism and was a very gentle soul. He hired my friend Bob Gould to help him build his house, so it all felt like family. One day, Bob Tilchin came to me and asked me to do him a favor. He was pen pals with an inmate named Jerry at Union Correctional Institution, UCI, a maximum security prison about 40 miles north of Gainesville. Bob had promised to visit this inmate once in a while, but now had to go out of town. He asked me if I would visit Jerry while he was gone. This was a very strange request for me. I had no prior experience in this area, and I was still very protective of my attempts to live a solitary life. As the voice of my thoughts said no, the voice of my lips said yes. I had no idea what it would be like to go into a maximum security prison to meet a total stranger, but I was about to find out. I drove up to the prison one Saturday morning and met Jerry, a young black man in the designated visiting area. We spent a few hours together discussing topics similar to what I had been teaching in my classes. He seemed genuinely interested, and he was a very intelligent young man. He had been doing meditation for some time, so we spent a while meditating together. Jerry expressed his appreciation for the visit and asked me to come back. I had noticed that other than Bob Tilchin and me, no one else was on Jerry's approved visitors list. Our meditation together had been amazingly deep, and I felt overwhelmed by peace when I left the prison. Somehow, being in that setting had touched something very deep within me. Before I was even out of the gate, I was looking forward to coming back. When I returned to see Jerry for the second time, he had a surprise for me. He had so enjoyed our visit and our meditation together that he had created a list of 5 or 6 other inmates who wanted to meet for group meditation. I contacted the authorities and found out that such a group meeting would only be possible as a religious service. Jerry considered himself a Buddhist, and I had done Zen Buddhist meditation. So I started what was probably the first Buddhist group in the history of a North Florida prison. We met in the chapel every other Saturday morning, and the whole scene was quite surreal for someone with my background. When I arrived at the prison, I would pass through the main gate that was surrounded by double coils of razor wire. I would then pass through 2 more gates before I was searched and patted down. Shortly thereafter, a call would come across the loudspeakers in the various cell blocks. Buddhist! From a very quiet place deep inside myself, I watched that voice in my head say, "How in the world did I get here?" The group grew over the years, and when Jerry was transferred to Florida State Prison, I also did a group there. It may have been acts of surrender that originally put me in those prison groups, but once I was there, it was my heart and soul. Whenever I would go into the prisons, I would feel a powerful increase in the spiritual energy flow within me. I'm going to say that again. Whenever I would go into the prisons, I would feel a powerful increase in the spiritual energy flow within me. And my meditations were much deeper when I sat with the inmates than when I sat for hours at home by myself. I didn't understand what was happening, but I looked forward to every visit and as an experience of spiritual upliftment. I ran the groups pretty much like the classes at Santa Fe. I did not plan any sessions. I just let the energy give the talks. The men were able to relate immediately to the notion of the talkative voice in their head. They were very receptive to learning how to quiet that voice and deal with the inner patterns of anger, fear, and strong drives. The inmates' deep-seated sincerity about their spiritual growth made those prison groups one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. A single request from my neighbor Bob Tilchin, to which I had initial resistance, grew into more than 30 years of working with the incarcerated. The men in my group became a part of my extended family, and they continue to live in a place deep in my heart. It was the summer of 1973, and in the most unlikely of places, my heart center was learning to open. So moving. I was being taught how to serve. This is not something I would have come up with on my own. My whole being thought my path to self-realization was about meditation. Fortunately, life knew better, and she was starting to guide me away from myself through service to others.
What's the name of that book?
the surrender experiment. So Swami says, say yes to life. Say yes to whatever life gives you, and you will find it always leading you to your highest good. I'm going to pass these out. Maybe we can take a few. So, saying yes to life, as we are aging, we have the unique opportunity to be more flexible in life. We don't have to take care of a job, probably, or family, and we have some freedom to navigate life in the way that we want to, and it can be a little bit of an easier, a little bit of an easier path maybe, to sort of sit back and say, I'm happy with the way things are, I'm good, and but there is this part of us, the soul nature of ourselves, which is forever going to be pushing us to grow. And, as Swami and Master have told us in just countless ways, what life brings us is what we need. And there is the perfect lesson in it. It's custom made for us. And if we receive it and accept it and just say yes to it, no matter how many reasons for no there are, there's one reason for yes. And that is, what we're really here to do, which is grow spiritually and grow closer to God. And so this is an invitation, a proposition that we could call the yes experiment, and about being predisposed, setting our outlook on life to be receptive to what comes, and to say yes when we want to say no. Sometimes it's right to say no. We can just put that out there, but probably not as often as we do, or as we think, or as we avoid. Yeah? So this is just a little worksheet that you can use for yourself if you choose to start to think about this a little bit more. I think we already all do this to some degree, and I've been focusing on it more too for the past several months, and finding it to be, surprisingly uplifting. Hard. It's sort of like Master said, bite off more than you can chew and then chew it. It's like that. But then on the other side of that effort and that courage and that commitment is a lot of joy. So this is yours to have, to think about. I think this would be really fun to do in a group, and to do with friends and actually talk to each other as we go and share what's happening. I think that would strengthen. It would strengthen my resolve in it, and it would also just, make it more fun. So that's That's the invitation. And we can talk more about this at another time. Wanted to just end with, does anyone have any questions? Chandra?
What is wee-wee?
Oh, okay, so I was going to sort of, yeah, it means, was it worth it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it, where did it come from?
What?
Wee-wee.
Oh, I just made it up. Any other thoughts? Any thoughts about this idea or ways that you are already doing this in your life or ways you'd like to be doing it more?
It occurred to me that I can't think of anything big right now, but I can think of a lot of little things like washing the dishes, taking out the trash, cleaning the kitty litter box. You know, just, I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. And sometimes I'd rather just go sit at my computer and watch a video. And so I need to start saying yes to all of those little things. You know, just
Consciously, yes.
Hmm?
You probably do say yes more than you think.
Well, but it takes a while, and so then all that time that I'm saying no, then my energy is going down.
Right. That's true.
And so if as soon as the thought comes into my mind to do something, if I just do it, you know, if it's possible at that time, then I'll stay uplifted. That's
Yeah.
Point, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
not have to run away from the dust and
Yeah.
whatever.
I think a positive attitude for what life gave me that I did not want, which is to say, like, I accept this as coming from Divine Mother, and saying this is for me to grow with. It's good.
Yeah. Seeing everything as coming from Divine Mother. Yeah, even though we would like to not have to deal with it or face it. Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, we can take small steps. We don't have to, you know, if something big comes, sometimes something big comes. And we don't have to just say yes to the whole thing. In fact, we would just say no, you know. But we could take a small step. What's the first thing I could say yes to about this? Like Master, you know, like the Bhagavad Gita says, even a little practice of this inward religion, you know, even a little practice of saying yes, well, it's a big thing. Yeah. So I'd like to end with a photo of Devi that was taken at our Operation Golden Palace event when she was speaking. And it just, she just, yeah. She's kind of doing everything that we've talked about. You know, she's got that open heart, expanded consciousness, standing in the light. She's speaking to a group, but she's projecting from the heart. She has lovely posture. And she's saying yes to life, you know.
That was a very, very powerful talk.
Yeah.
And it shows, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's nice, it's nice, it's important for us to have examples of what it looks like to live these principles and these ideas that we talked about this morning too. So we can keep that image in our mind and also observe each other living this way, living in this uplifted consciousness and helping one another. Thank you for coming.